Nowadays, there are a lot of autoimmune diseases appearing in the world. The autoimmune process, the autoallergic process, affects a large number of organs. This includes the respiratory system, which leads to bronchial asthma, and the nervous system, which results in multiple sclerosis, a terrible disease that doesn't kill, but leaves people disabled. Autoimmune diseases of the joints include rheumatism and rheumatoid arthritis. Autoimmune diseases very often affect the thyroid gland, such as the so-called Hashimoto's autoimmune thyroiditis. There are also autoimmune diseases of the kidneys, like glomerulonephritis, and others, such as Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis for the intestines, and uveitis for the eyes. Yes, any and all organs can be affected by the autoimmune process. But the very essence of the damage is that your own immune system attacks your own tissues, your own body. Why does this happen? Medicine does not provide a direct answer to this question, and because of that, the treatment of these autoimmune diseases is exclusively pathogenetic. All treatment can be etiological, pathogenetic, or symptomatic. Etiotropic treatment eliminates the cause, pathogenetic treatment acts on the mechanism of disease development, and symptomatic treatment relieves the symptoms. Autoimmune processes are not given etiotropic treatment for the simple reason that the cause of the disease is unknown. But I know. I know because for many, many years now, by performing examinations like capillaroscopy, I have been observing how different organs function in the human body, studying medicine. And that's why I know why immune system failures occur, why the immune system starts attacking its own tissues, its own organs, its own natural cells, and why autoimmune processes develop. Let's go, guys! Today we're going to break down the mechanism of treating autoimmune diseases. But let's start a little further back. Look! The thing is, in our body, for all organs to function, besides receiving glucose and amino acids and so on, they also need to receive energy, they need to receive warmth. Our body is warm, our body is warm. Because our body is warm, the heat is produced by our liver and then spreads to all the organs through special channels, meridians. Because of this, all our organs, all parts of the body should be warm. This means that warmth is reaching those areas well. Not blood, warmth. Understand, these are different things. And when a person has cold feet, the sign, the symptom of cold feet, it indicates that warmth is not reaching two organs well, the kidneys and the adrenal glands. Always remember, if a person has cold feet, warmth is not reaching the kidneys. Let me try to explain it this way. The warmth from the stove, the liver, first spreads into the leg and then rises up to the kidney. That's how it rises up to, the adrenal gland. And when a person has cold feet, then the kidneys and adrenal glands don't work well. They don't have enough energy to function. As a result of this, the kidneys don't cleanse the body properly. And then these metabolic byproducts, excretory substances, not just urea and uric acid, but other substances as well, accumulate in the body and cause antigenic pollution, which alters the natural antigens, the little antennae on the cells of our body that are familiar to our immune system. It's like the body gets clogged up. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is that the adrenal gland stops functioning properly. The adrenal gland is an endocrine gland that produces a whole range of hormones. But one of the main hormones is cortisol. There are also corticosteroid hormones, 17-oxycorticosterone, and others, but that's not important. Corticosteroid hormones are the hormones of health, the hormones of life, the hormones that put an end to any inflammatory process. And this cortisol starts being produced less effectively. And the adrenal gland stops controlling the occurrence of various inflammatory processes throughout our body. When the adrenal gland is insufficient, the immune system goes haywire and starts attacking some organ. The pancreas is affected, the kidneys are affected, the joints are affected, the eyes are affected. With autoimmune uveitis, different organs can be attacked by the body's own immune system. Damage can be caused by cellular immunity or by humoral immunity with the production of antibodies against the body's own organs and natural cells. And this poses a huge problem. So, these kinds of autoimmune diseases in our medicine are treated only pathogenetically, that is, they stop the inflammatory process using the same adrenal hormones, the same cortisone, the same prednisone, and methylprednisolone. These are hormones, steroid hormones, corticosteroids that are produced by our adrenal glands, but the body doesn't produce them in sufficient amounts. So we use these drugs to treat autoimmune problems, allergic problems, and others. For example, prednisone is used to treat anaphylactic shock, to eliminate anaphylactic shock. And the reason is always that the adrenal gland doesn't get enough warmth. It doesn't get enough warmth because the person has cold feet. So how, then, can you cure an autoimmune process? Please understand this correctly. Symptomatically, treat each organ as needed to address the problems with that organ, to eliminate the symptoms. I'm not going to influence that. Pathogenetically, we need to stop the inflammatory process. If stopping it right now requires using glucocorticosteroids, like prednisolone, then use them. But that's just emergency, immediate help. What I need is to eliminate the cause of the illness. And the cause is that the person has cold feet. And for the adrenal gland to kick in and start working well, just like the kidneys, you need to warm up the person's feet. It's the principle of keep your head cool, but your feet warm, not just in socks, but actually warm. Socks don't warm you up. Yes, people tell me, well, warm sheepskin socks do keep you warm. Guys, socks just retain heat. But what you need is not just to retain heat, but to actually warm up. You need to heat up your feet. And to warm up the feet, I use infrared heat from heated termanium ceramic material. Here I have products made from termanium ceramic. I set the temperature on the remote to 50 to 55 degrees Celsius or higher, and wrap my feet with the product. Legs, that means thighs. Where are your thighs? Well, the thighs are between the hip joint and the knee. Yes. And the shins. Where are your shins? People say calves. They call them calves. Where are a person's calves? You know, I love saying the word calf. Where is a person's calf? Well, tell me, where is a person's calf? That's right. Caviar is something fish have. Caviar is something frogs have. But humans don't have caviar. What we have is the calf muscle on the shin. And the shin is between the knee and the foot. So you need to wrap your legs, meaning wrap your shins, wrap your thighs, and warm them up with the infrared heat of termanium ceramics. And by the way, when you warm your legs, the heat instantly travels to your kidneys and adrenal glands. They get warmed up from this heat and from warming your legs. And when you warm your legs, you should do it until your legs actually sweat. You need your legs to sweat. That means you fill them with so much energy that it even starts coming out. And when you start warming your legs, you'll notice that with autoimmune diseases, any of them, like multiple sclerosis, bronchial asthma, or glomerulonephritis, the legs are always cold. You warm them up, but they still stay cold, because you need to heat them up so much, that they actually become warm and even start sweating from the heat. The key point of the method is to warm your legs until sweat appears on them, so that your legs actually sweat. And when you've warmed your legs to the point that they're sweating, that's when you filled them with enough energy. Because you filled them with enough energy, your kidneys and adrenal glands start to do their job. This won't immediately stop the inflammatory autoimmune process, but it will prevent it from developing in the future. That's how the problem of autoimmune diseases is solved. Symptomatically, you treat it. Pathogenetically, you treat it. But to eliminate the root cause of this illness, you need to warm up a person's legs. And it's best to warm them up in the evening before bed, so that you don't go anywhere afterward, and to warm them so thoroughly that your feet actually sweat from the heat. That's what creates the conditions to prevent recurrences of the autoimmune inflammatory process. This is the method for how to completely cure an autoimmune process. And I already have thousands and thousands of people who have started using this method. People ask me, "Doctor, where are your results?" The thing is, these people have stopped experiencing the autoimmune process. With multiple sclerosis, the process has stopped. No, that doesn't mean they are already walking well. But they no longer have inflammation, they don't have flare-ups, and they don't have repeated exacerbations of autoimmune processes. Well, symptomatically, further treatment is needed, directly addressing the specific issues the person has. So that's the information for you today, specifically about autoimmune diseases and what needs to be done about them.